years ago.
Okay, back in session again, go ahead, Mike.
Okay, so I'm here to give an update on the unsafe housing of the property of Derek Barth at 6382 West Lincoln Street, Kentland, Indiana. He was supposed to have the main structure that was burnt removed, and the foundation that the mobile home was sitting on, and cleared. And so my observations, this was as of Friday, I went there. So the main burn structure has been removed. Two portions of that original structure, basically one on the west side, one on the east side, have been sealed off. The small room on the northwest slab that has exposed interior wall wiring and it's supposed to say a roof extension. Most of the foundation of the mobile home that was attached to the stick-built structure has been removed. So when I say he's completed about 90% of what I would consider where he needs to be, I'm basing it off of the main burnt structure has been removed. Now it's just some cleanup. The first safety concern on page 2, he has a hot tub there, sitting on the slab of that burnt structure, and there's just cords running everywhere. And so that's a concern of mine. Page 3, safety concern number 2, the small remaining structure on the northwest side, it has exposed wiring that needs removed, and then the roof, just looking at it, it looks like an extended lean-to. I think it's going to need some additional support, but I didn't spend a lot of time determining that. And a little bit of ceiling on the top. Of this room you can't get into. There is a door on the north side, and it looks like, I looked in the window, it's just full of stuff. And then you see the foundation there, portion from where the mobile home was sitting. It's going to need some leveling. Concern number 3 was just construction debris that needs cleared, and some lot leveling where the mobile home foundation was removed. And then the last page concerns just some general cleanup and removal of junk. But as I mentioned at the beginning, he's just doing this all by himself, and from where he started to where he is today, I have to give him credit for that. But I left a note on his door.
Is he present?
The meeting. No, I don't see him.
Okay.
I don't see him present. And told him that the topic of a $5,000 fine would be on the table this morning. It would be good that he represented himself, but I see that he's not here. So my recommendation, I don't know that he has a job, and so my recommendation was to give him some more time to do these last 4 items, because the main structure is removed. I don't think we're gonna get a dime out of him if we try.
I agree.
So if I had to give a time frame, I'd like to give it another 90. I'd give 90 days, give the rest of summer. That's for consideration. But he's close.
Well, and again, the reason it looks a little worse is because he took everything out of the building. I mean, because we got some older photos where it's not near as, what do I want to say, cluttered.
Right.
And so he's trying to salvage what he can salvage to put back in his home when he rebuilds it or whatever he does.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what it appears to me.
Yeah. But you're right, it did look cleaner from the street view before he started the
Yes.
demo.
Yes. So I'm in agreement. I'd rather work with this gentleman and give him the other 90 days. If that's your recommendation, what do these guys think?
think the main priority would be to contain the debris with strong winds and neighboring properties. I think that's the number one thing that needs to be addressed first, in my opinion. I don't know if we can
But time,
extend it with a caveat that says you know, you have to contain the debris first, and then this is second, this is third, and, you know, I feel for him if he doesn't have a job and he's trying to do it on his own. But if we take the threat of a fine away, I'm not sure that will resonate. I don't know the gentleman, I'm just guessing that if there's no threat along with the 90 days, I'm not sure.
It does appear he's got a fence around part of it, right?
the back, the north side,
Yeah.
the north, and I think the west side.
But that's when you're sitting on the street.
Yeah, that's the street corner.
And that's just loose debris, right?
Yes, yes.
I mean, lumber that could blow and,
Well, if they can give him another 90 days, he can, as long as he demonstrates or he's making an effort.
and those wires all across there by that propane tank, that's just scary.
Well, I mean, maybe regarding that, you just put some informal in writing
I
to,
can do that.
I mean,
you know.
hey, guys, we
Take care of this first, take care of
hey,
this second.
try and clean up this electrical, I mean, so that you're covered in case something would happen, especially the hot tub thing, man, you know how that is around water. But, maybe something informal like that, just to advise him, hey, you should address these things so you don't get hurt.
Well, I
I
can
hate to
include
mind-
those with findings and orders,
Yeah.
whatever those, the order you want them in.
I hate to micromanage the fellow, but like in the first 30 days, debris removal, the next 30 days, da-da-da. So maybe he'll concentrate on something specific, because if he's sorting out some of that lumber that he plans to keep, maybe he could get rid of the rest and then, you know, the other debris that's laying there, that's,
Yeah, he may operate better with, do this, give a little bit of direction. I think that's a great
yeah, a
idea.
little guidance.
Include that in the motion.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we allow the Derek Barth to have another 90 days to, that'd make it October
27th at 10.
October 27th of 2025 to take care of the cleanup of this burnt mobile home and his property, but in the first 30 days to address, if you guys are okay with this, to address any debris. I'm not sure if he'll understand what debris is, but to have that removed in the first 30 days. And then in the next 30 days after that, to work on filling in the,
Probably the electrical.
or take care of the electrical
The
issues, yeah,
electrical.
'cause that's kind of scary, yeah.
Maybe that first, so he doesn't get hurt. Gotta make sure he addresses that right away. If you think it's that serious, you know.
Move that gas grill
I mean-
away from the electrical.
I mean, water, road, electricity,
No, you're absolutely right.
that's one of those mistakes you make one time.
Yeah.
But whatever, but I mean, whatever you wanna do.
Probably the higher risk would be the electrical.
That's
So
what I
maybe
would say.
move the debris to the number 2, the second 30 days.
Okay. I'll amend my motion to that effect. And then the last 30 days to finish the cleanup.
Are you good?
Electrical, loose debris, and final cleanup.
Okay, I second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Sorry I have to deal with this.
Well, yeah, but maybe staying on.
Well, I'm sure this man doesn't wanna be dealing with it either, I mean, it's unfortunate.
Maybe he feels overwhelmed and this will give him a to-do list.
I could use one
That
today, I'll tell you
2x4
that.
drops, he's gonna get in there. around.
Yeah. Ryan, you come up, Nate, you come up. So, first off, before you start with this other quote I said to you guys, I just need to get permission from you guys to get a reply for the JRAC grant that Casey applicates on. We started this year, she started in February, so right now we're still in the infancy stage of building this program, so trying to get that going. Apply for that for another year if you guys are good with that.
Then once she's on, goes till
December, right, so, I'll just, she'll reapply for that grant, get that done for the budget cycle.
Okay, is that a one-year contract?
It's just a 1 year deal.
Also need to that.
Second.
Okay, got a motion second on the replying for JRAC. And all fair side.
Aye.
I'll get that taken care of, so basically, I think last meeting I talked to you guys about what's going on with our Stanley board and all the touchscreen stuff and the monitors and the recording devices, and this is basically information I'm getting from Jenny, cause she's back there in the back, and started looking at different systems, and so I'd reached out to Tricia Warner with SAS, and I had been to a couple of facilities that have used this company, and we'd like to actually try to integrate, it all started with trying to integrate body cameras back into the jail site. Reached out to Tricia, and then she set me up with Ryan Tomlinson here with SAS, and he had sent me a quote originally on some things, and there's I guess, I'm not really a technical type person with this stuff, but their systems will not integrate with everything that we have, I guess, with Genetech. And there were some other things that we had to do to integrate, we'd have to go separate with the body camera. And so I had a second quote sent back in, just to make sure everything was under one umbrella, so had to have our video and audio with Genetech, and then other stuff with SAS, and then body cameras with another company that would have to go separate, tie into Genetech. So this is what this is all about. I can basically turn it over to Jenny a little bit. She kind of explained the system, how the systems work, and why we're looking at this, and why we went this way.
Sure, I mean, the big draw obviously is our Stanley boards, which is the touchscreen computers in the jail. There's 2 touchscreen computers right now. There's a central control, which operates the entirety of the facility. We have, our intercom-based system to communicate between blocks and central control is operated by that. You group unlock cell blocks, you can unlock individual cell doors, you open up doors for staff through that. And there's a mini portion of that same operating system back in satellite, and that just controls the inmate area. It's not gonna control the exterior doors, so it's a similar program. And then in our booking department, we have a push button, it's not a computer, there's a panel into the desktop where you have to press the button, and you can do that for lights and then also to communicate with the cells specifically right there. It operates on our inmate worker block and our trustee block. I think it's extremely old. If it, I understand if that, when it goes, it goes. It's not updatable in its current fashion. So that takes, that Stanley portion would move into SAS, which is what all SAS does, from what I understand, is jail security programming. That's a correct word.
Yeah, we're a correctional systems integrator. It's basically, that's our business, so it's with jails and prisons.
So right now, we have the same, we have Genetech, which is the same thing that there's a camera in this room, the same system that everything operates for the jail as the rest of the county. And then we pay for that,
We
you guys pay for that.
You guys pay for camera
Cameras.
replacements.
Right, we pay for the
We pay
cameras, you
for
pay
all-
for the
All the
All agreements,
software side of it.
all the software.
servers, storage.
Right, And I had previously talked to Nate, gosh, the end of last year, maybe, and we had already discussed camera-wise, going over and looking through the jail of how old are specific cameras, what cameras are we having problems with, so we could have some type of financial idea of where we were, because apparently cameras go bad quicker when you're running them 24/7, and the technology continues to move. We're having some cameras that are, you can see like a rip through them, so they are recording where it looks like a rainbow.
Like a scrambled signal.
Right, or they're losing the definition, or they're starting to gray out a little bit. And that was something that we had discussed as to, let's upgrade a couple cameras as we move along instead of bam, cause right now we've just been chasing problems once one goes down, and they're not cheap cameras. I think the one we put outside, like $4,500 for a camera.
That was a pretty special one,
Yeah, that
but
was
on
like
average, every camera's
800.
gonna be, I'd say to install about $1,000,
Right.
you say a camera. A lot of those are full HD, some are 4K where we're at, multiple views, just depends on the camera, but
Right, and that lets us know, because, there's anywhere from 160 up to 260, 270 inmates in there, and I don't know all their names, so if we're trying to decide who's doing what, or we can zoom in, and it's nice to be able to have that detail that doesn't pixelate when we're trying to do
I
that.
said before, I think it'd be very important, you gotta have that.
Yeah, so I reached out, and how this got started was like, I've been to other facilities that had integrated with SAS, and it's just a very clean system, and how they integrated all the body cameras and everything. And Wabash, Willie County, I think LaGrange County just converted over to them.
The counties on them.
Yep, and just easy to work with, great customer service. Right now, I don't even think we can get a hold of anybody with Stanley anymore, I mean, it's kind of
No.
iffy, yeah.
yeah, now it's Securitas.
Yeah, so, but, so anyway, I sent this out and I emailed you guys, and of course, you got your response back from Dave, and, I just put this out on the table. I invited Ryan so he can add a little more to what his company can provide. That way, he could explain some things. I mean, he could tell you about what he looked at and what he saw in our system and how old it was. So,
Sure. So like Sarah said, so my name is Ryan Collins, I'm in Security Automation Systems. So I started this company back in 2007. And before that, I used to work for Stanley many years ago. So started out there in 1998 when they worked at that company, left in 2007, started this business, and we've been in operation ever since. So we've done probably close to half the county jails in Indiana, I think. So we specialize in jails and prisons. We've done basically all the Indiana Department of Corrections facilities. So we do door control, intercom, video, card reader systems, and we all integrate this into a single easy-to-use like touchscreen controls. So that's our business. So I came up here not too long ago and did an evaluation of this facility. And essentially, most of the equipment is original from when the building was built. I don't remember what year that was, 1999? Okay, that's about when I got started in this business. So yeah, the equipment that basically it's tied to the relays that open the locks and turn off and on the intercom station. So all that equipment it's all completely original, and much of it was basically stopped manufacturing over a decade ago. So this can't get parts for most of this stuff anymore. So it's kind of ran its useful life, and would highly recommend upgrading. And then as far as the video system goes, I originally didn't quote the video system, then I was asked to include that in my proposal. So yeah, I have a couple different versions of what I proposed. Yeah, basically the big difference with the video is included a new recording system and new video management software. Now, it's a different software than currently what you're using. It's not Genetech, it's a different manufacturer. The only reason is because we're just not a dealer of Genetech. So,
What do you receive annually as far as costs to keep the system up to date?
so our base system, we include a 1-year warranty. And then after that, service contracts they're optional.
How much do they run approximately?
It just depends on, they're all custom tailored to what you want. I don't have like a
What does,
boiler.
you don't have an average?
I would say probably a system this size, you're probably looking at maybe $6,000 a year around. That's just sort of labor coverage to respond to calls and things like that. Like I said, most customers, they just kind of use us on a time and material basis. We don't really need to have service contracts with the vast majority of our customers, so.
What is the annual contract cost for the software or the?
Like licensing.
Oh, it's the licensing, again, it depends on the manufacturer and how many cameras you have. Yeah, it just depends on the manufacturer and how many cameras, and I don't have a number right off the top of my head, but,
You
it's
assume whatever
reasonable.
company you're using would be similar to whatever we're paying with Genetech?
I would say it would be probably pretty similar.
How much are you paying now?
What do you pay me?
Well, ours is gonna be different, so
Because you-
we have every camera in the county. So the sheer number of cameras is ours. We have access controls, we have cameras, we have our application of Genetech and everything else, so we pay about $15,000 in the IT budget all to do everything currently as it is, including the jail.
For licensing?
For licensing at Genetech, yes, is what we have. So that's the entire county. We have every building that's using access controls and cameras in Genetech. Because that's, if you saw Dave's email or read it, Dave's not able to be here today, so he had me here. So we are in complete agreement that the systems over there in Stanley need to be replaced. Absolutely. They're old, you can't get parts. Stanley Securitas now does not answer calls.
Right.
You know, where we differ on that is the cost of replacing Genetech in there. We think that's a cost that is not needed because, you know, one thing is this system and Genetech is the same setup. They do not have a camera system. They're putting it out to another vendor, which is Activision or Zac. We looked at that one point in time, it had less features than Genetech. Genetech is #1 in the world. It does jails and other things. It's very powerful, it does more than what we need, but it has the ability to grow. So that's where I think we kind of differ in what Dave was talking about. The body cameras are actually, we can purchase the exact same body cameras that are through here, they go in with Genetech. They're access cameras. So they do integrate in, everything integrates and it's going to be the same
Okay, I ask you a
between the
question.
two.
Now, is all the cameras in like the courthouse and everything here into the same server that the jail stuff is on? Or is it a separate server?
You have separate storage.
Okay, that's what I was.
So the servers are the same, and that's the other thing is, you know, this has one server, that goes down, you have a problem. We actually run 4 here. All of our servers are way higher spec than what's in here too. So, and that's where I think kind of difference of
Well, that's why.
where IT's at and where you guys are at is,
Right.
so you guys have your own storage.
Right.
And that's completely separate from anyone else and no one can see it unless you okay, which I don't think security can, you know, another member station, no need to. So that's all securely separated. That's where I think it's kind of different. So I mean, same body cameras would go into Genetech as what's going on here. Cameras are in place. You know, we talk about the issue is really we need to replace cameras. This doesn't include replacing cameras. This is taking in the current cameras as is. And eventually going up, you know, service contract, we kind of go back and forth on that one. On service contract, kind of hard to pull someone this way, you know, at times. But, you know, different software and stuff sometimes don't have that, so that's not a huge hang up for us. But, you know, we just don't see replacing Genetech as something that's critical. We do agree, everything else out there is very dated and needs to be replaced badly, absolutely. And we agree the body cameras would be great.
And Ryan did, and that's why I sent it to Dave to look at that contract as well, to see what, I wanna get everybody involved with it, but, Ryan did submit his original, before I asked him to do the whole thing, and this is his original contract right here. The cost originally to do everything prior to the second was $229,000. That was to replace all the audio, and I think, you might wanna look at that too.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, sort of, so you're exactly correct.
Yeah.
Now, we have developed an integration with Genetech, and we've
Yep.
implemented it before, and we did that for Porter County. So this original one
Right.
does not include that integration.
Right,
So if you wanted me to do a third proposal, I could do a third
Okay.
proposal that would include the Genetech integration. I would just need to basically spell out the responsibilities between what we're doing and then what.
And that would be basically what you're talking about is the cost of that, which would be probably similar to what we're paying for the Stanley integration, correct?
Yeah, there's a license that must be purchased, and then there's some technical things about like we need a dedicated network card on your server to talk to the security system.
Yes.
Separate from everything else.
Yep, we have that. And
Yeah.
no, we have no idea what the cost of that SAS integration is, we haven't looked at that, but the one for Stanley that we pay yearly is $1,500, I wanna say a year, something like that, for that integration license. It's that over 2 years for $2,000, it's somewhere around that cost for that integration license. That, if it's gonna be similar, that'd be a guess, as for the integration for the SAS to swap out the boards to go into Genetech that we currently have in place.
And then we would have some additional labor just for the programming, configuration, and coordination,
Right.
just make sure everything works. So,
So I understand this correctly. What you're talking about is Genetech,
The video integrating in with all the jail
all the
stuff.
video stuff,
Yes.
right? You be handling everything else in simple control, correct?
yeah, outside of the video.
Outside of it.
Essentially, we're just talking to the Genetech system, just to bring in the video
Yeah.
feeds
Okay.
to our,
That's what I thought you were.
to our touchscreen.
Yeah, so they'd be doing all the jail stuff, it's just the video integration is where we said would stay with Genetech was
And then,
our thoughts, but everything else would be them.
right, and then we could get the body cameras
We got a quote, I think.
to
Yeah.
quote.
I did send
you do
one
have,
over.
okay,
I think it was like the base and 8, 10,000,
Yeah, it was ish.
something like that to get the body cameras brought in.
and I guess what we're looking at is trying to reduce, basic lawsuits, because usually like they have done some studies that found that when not only keeps security officers in line, also keeps inmates in line as well,
For the
so.
body camera.
Yeah, from the body
Yeah.
camera, they see that.
Body cameras on,
On-
find
yeah.
officers.
Correct.
Officers, right,
Mhm.
and it wouldn't be a per officer
Officer.
issue, it would be a facility hold,
Right.
so there's up to 6 officers on a shift, so in the base comes with 8 body
Correct.
cams.
Yes,
So that would just be, they would get assigned to the officer when
As
they
they
come
come
on
in.
duty, and then they'll just swap out batteries. And they can, there was a couple different options, but they can turn it on when they are having a conversation with an inmate. There's different options where if mine turns on, yours turns on. So there were some different options for them.
there's a lot of ways to configure those.
So it sounds like you need your third quote then.
I just
Gen
wanna bring
X,
you guys in,
This
that way you have
gentleman to get together,
information, whatever it's
come up
going
with
on.
your third quote. Cause you're happy with a lot of what this Genetech is doing. But
We are.
Yes, and it's throughout the whole county, so I mean, for us, it makes a lot more sense to have a single one to manage and not two, additional costs with that.
And that's something your company can do is do the merger and whatnot.
Yes.
And the only main issue I had with Genetech, I think, was a IT NI issue, and I think that hopefully that's been resolved because we're required by statute to maintain at least 182 days of,
225
so what we're up to.
days.
So,
Correct.
Yeah. When of it, unfortunately.
Correct.
So what do you feel the timing is for getting that qual?
I can get that put together pretty soon, this week, definitely.
And we can have it at the next meeting or something for you to look at, so.
I had a question for you. What's your source of funding gonna be for it, whatever the amount is?
Probably out of the, federal inmate housing, federal inmate money, and then we're sitting on a good chunk of change with the commissary money too for computer stuff. So,
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. Work together on it.
Yeah, I mean, that's why-
It needs replaced,
Yeah, I mean, that's why I sent them, cause I'm not, I don't know anything about IT stuff. I can turn the computer on and type something, but
Yeah, I read Dave's response twice, and I thought, okay, he's up here and I'm
yeah.
trying to fully understand it, you know.
I
but-
understood the summarized part the best.
But I think getting us all together here and discussing this was a lot better, because when we first met, you know, I'm way out left field trying to figure out, cause I want everything under, you know, I put in my email about piecemeal, I didn't really, piecemeal mean I didn't wanna have to go get cameras for this and do this and.
Right, but I think that's a conversation that we can have is, you know, is there gonna be a difference and that you don't need to.
Yeah.
hang out so much.
So, and it very much needed, you gotta have the video as a backup to any lawsuit. You need it.
Yeah, there's no video, you
Yeah.
don't. Or it was 10 times worse, one or the other.
Okay, sounds good, yeah, we'll look forward to you coming in the next meeting then with,
Okay. For the next meeting.
thank you.
Alright, thank you so much. Oh yeah, that's my old one, yeah, I just got that one. Reference. Put your stuff together.
You're right on time.
Appreciate it.
Dr. Shelby is
Yep,
coming,
get that.
she's not here, but I will go ahead and speak about what I was gonna speak about, she's gonna handle it. I'm just here to get approval to purchase two things that are over 5,000. One is an upgrade to our WIN records to help Sarah and I with our food inspecting. And the other one is a filing cabinet, the vault, fireproof vault for the basement when we move downstairs, so. The data mart development one is a quote from our developer that does our WIN records. That is what we use, Jason uses it for septics, we use it for our food inspecting, we put in our reports. We got a new food code and that one is effective in April of this year.
Yeah.
And this was our old one-page inspection sheet. This is our new inspection sheet. 3 pages long. So the way it's set up right now is not conducive to entering this type of inspection sheet, because we've got in compliance, out of compliance. It will also, when he builds it, it will also reflect the new codes, because right now the codes are different. They've added some, they've revised some, but then you also have parts, section 183, section A, 183, section B, you know, it's different sections that we have to fill in, so these are our new ones. We're gonna have to start using these when we go to enter our reports. We will have to be entering them like this. So that upgrade is their $5,000. So we're asking for approval to use that. We had a board meeting on Tuesday, the board approved that purchase. So I'm just here to ask approval for that. Dennis, did you update our ordinance to the new food code, do you remember? To 26, 7-26, okay.
Yeah, Mark, this is just upgrade the system to allow.
Yes, he will rewrite
It's
it.
not an annual, I mean,
No, once it's done, it's done.
it's done, okay.
Yes. We had been working off that old one, the old food code's like 20 years old, it was like issued in 2004.
Oh.
They finally updated it, and so, we just need to reflect that in our system. We would be taking the funds from, the environmental services in HFI, we have funds there.
I entertain a motion on data mart development quote.
Okay, I make a motion, you approve the data mart development quote to upgrade the systems for the health department. It appears it's $5,000 even.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
The second one is a filing cabinet. You know, we're moving down to the basement, and it's going to be all environmental, but also vital records, which is Jan's position. Right now, we have a vault upstairs that holds all of our vital records. It goes back to 1882. That's when we started with our records. She wanted to get a filing cabinet. It's actually a fireproof safe that will hold some of her books, not all of her books, but she needs at least 22 books. Those are the oldest records that she accesses the most, because those aren't in the state system yet. I mean, we still have people that are living from the 1940s, you know what I mean? Those kind of books that are still, she uses those books almost daily. And if she doesn't get that, we don't know, she would have to make a trip upstairs. Sometimes all of us are out of the office and she's the only one there. If that's the case, then she would have to lock all our office doors. She has a cash drawer, she'd have to lock that. So she's wanting to get this fireproof safe to at least keep those vital records, but also the most current ones that come in on a daily, that she can just keep right there at her fingertips. Otherwise, we still have access to that office upstairs with that vault, but it would just be nice if we had it downstairs, because if she's by herself, she would have to lock everything up and leave a person standing there until she went upstairs to get the book.
And you can get the size of this safe too, down.
They're gonna come, yes,
We
yes.
gotta lay out a wall.
Yes, she's done the measurements and they will come and they will set it for us.
Okay, just.
Yeah, and she's measured the depth of the books, because the books are quite large, but she's measured the depth of them so she knows that they will fit.
Okay.
And I know it says this came from Arden Hills, and was that
Minnesota.
Minnesota, okay. But she said it is in Indiana, it's made in Lebanon, Indiana, so it's an Indiana company. Let's just do a third-party billing or something.
So my question is, does it suffice for quite a while?
Yeah, oh yeah.
One time it's large enough that it would be, or are you, and dumb question here, so are you moving the ones that you use the most down, and then the ones that would not be used would stay up? So that you're using both,
Right,
and you'll
right.
have the capacity for a long while?
I mean, if she's doing any genealogy that has to go back to the 1800s, of course she's gonna go up there and search for that, but that's not something she has to do when somebody just walks in.
Sure. Okay.
Most of the time, it's just people getting their birth certificates. And if it's not in the state system drive, then she would have to go upstairs and grab that book.
So another dumb question, is this a freestanding unit, or is
Yes.
it attached to the wall?
It'll be a freestanding unit.
Okay.
Yep. It's not gonna be attached, but it will go up against, I believe we're gonna put it up
The
against the wall.
placement, you know where.
Yeah, we have
to
a
put it.
placement for it,
Okay.
yes.
So it looks like once
They
you get
don't
it,
waste
in place, you don't wanna
1,300
move it.
pounds, it'd be,
You don't wanna move it frequently.
No,
Yeah.
no,
take a big wall to hold it.
right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's big enough to suffice for the future. She always has to keep hard copies, we always have to keep hard copies of the births and the death records that we get. But those are accessible on drive, like the current ones, they all go through the drive system, which is the state of Indiana's system. So those current records need to stay with her, we always have to keep them, but they are accessible. These books are not accessible on drive because the state hasn't put them in there yet. And this would also come out of HFI.
Good. Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the invoice number 157877 through filing.com, Advanced Filing Concepts for the fireproof Phoenix safe, with the total being $5,699
Second.
out of the HFA funds.
Okay, we have motion second, all those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you.
These back,
If you guys don't need them, I can take them, it doesn't matter, I'll give one to Jackie.
I wrote it down in my notes, so.
Good job. Got lucky.
Dr. Shelby's here to speak on the other item.
Good morning. Good morning. Okay, so we have had some struggles over the past, it's even quarter with employee retention or even employee, and so we hired and lost 2 people this year even, well, no, I guess 1 this year, and 2 people within, I'd say 2 other people within the last year, okay? And the school liaison position, we have had troubles just with retention since it started. With the changes in HFI funding and what their expectations are with regard to school liaison, it's not necessarily, it has to be a full-time position anymore. That position, she has left. And so we have open school liaison position, but 2 of our current employees, our nurse, well, not our main nurse, but she's right now our vaccination nurse, and the administrative person, Courtney and Sam, both said they have helped with the school liaison position since its inception, and they feel comfortable taking that on for the time being. They feel comfortable adding that to their current role. They did send me an email with a list of what that responsibility, and I told them my expectations. A lot of it really is up to vaccines, so the big thing is staying in communication with those school nurses, making sure what can we do to help them, are there areas that we can support them. I said the expectation would be to keep, a monthly email to them, but they feel comfortable taking on that role, so that would take off that need to hire a full-time position, so getting rid of the need for, any sort of benefits packages or anything. But, in the private sector right now, Parfy's going through with their MAs and their RNs, they have to do certain things, and the expectation is if they do that, then they get an incentive, they get a $2,000 bonus for MAs even, so, which would be the equivalent of Samantha. So my thing is, they're willing, they didn't ask, it was more me, they're willing to step up their game and basically take on the role of a full-time employee for responsibilities. So I said that I would really like them to have a stipend for that, like even $500 to $1,500 for the year as a thank you. My concern right now is we have good people at our health department. Right now we're having troubles with retention, I think because of, the changes in the state and because of salaries. I mean, to be honest, right now with the job market, you can go to any healthcare facility, even as a social worker position, and do pretty well. So in order to keep people that know what they're doing, and have done it for a while, and I would like to reward them, so I'm requesting basically for each of them $1,500 stipend for the year. Again, the county's not having to take on any sort of benefits packages. It's $3,000 that we have in our, I believe it'd come out of the COAG grant. So that's what I'm asking as a thank you to them. Just like it happens in the private sector, you add on to your responsibilities, you're willing to take that on, then we're gonna thank you. Otherwise, again, my concern is we're gonna continue to lose people, and then you're gonna have people that, 1, don't know what they're doing, and 2, maybe aren't doing the greatest jobs for what we're paying them.
I think it's a good idea. I mean, maybe it's not a full-time position, and maybe you can spread those responsibilities out amongst a couple of
And
people
both of the
that you
gals,
have.
they told me what they had done before, and I told them this is what I'd like to add, they felt comfortable with it. yeah, so.
And then that's what you would do in the private sector.
Right, and that's what I said exactly, and cause right now, Parkies, this is the time of year they do it for their MAs and the RNs. These are the expectations, if you do them, then you get more, so, yeah.
Do you feel like it's enough for the year based on what the role they're taking on, or how many hours per week they're spending on that particular?
That gets into a sticky situation with other employees and their, I will be honest, it kinda came to me at our board meeting that others aren't necessarily as pleased. They hadn't told me that they're taking on more, so I think the girls are very pleased that just to have somebody show them some things with this increase right now. And I think that's a discussion we have to have as a health department, cause others in other areas aren't very happy with me right now. So I think that's a bigger discussion we have to have as a whole. But I think the girls are very happy, they know that this is a show of appreciation on my end, and they're just very tickled to have any sort of stipend right now. So I think for now it is, in a broader sense, we have to have a bigger discussion as a department and see where everybody's job satisfaction is.
Well, I mean, again, I come from the private sector, I mean, to me, I mean, maybe you redefine their whole job duties, and this, this
Right.
becomes part of it, and you expand their salaries just as something like.
Then you're going to the salary committee and all those things.
Well, but you eliminate a position, and then, that's expensive, I mean, people.
Some of these things, these decisions are more council than commissioner.
Well, and that may be so, I don't know what the process to do that, but I think.
I would think you may have to do it that way, go through the salary committee, factoring in these additional duties and.
I don't, if they do it as a stipend, it wouldn't necessarily go there, they're not really changing.
But if they're gonna increase those duties permanently.
And that's, I mean,
I mean, if it's a trial and error basis right
I project it's
now,
gonna be permanent.
then you could do it more on the stipend.
Right, and again,
If you're gonna make it a permanent, I think we should go the other way.
I mean, down the road.
And that's, I project it will be permanent. The thing is, it was a new rule as it is, and again, with our retention, it's hard to know what the school expectations of the nurses are. Each year is a little different with what they wanna add on and ask. So right now, I suspect it'll be permanent, but if the school nurses are starting to, ask for more, training of such, then it might have to look into, having somebody taken on as a full-time position. But right now, they offer to start and see how they feel comfortable right now with what the role is, at least starting the school year with the nurses, and they have good, rapport with the nurses.
But given the environment right now with cutbacks, I think it's the right direction.
I agree.
Okay, and you know what, every school's got a school nurse, and if I think what you're doing is the right thing, and at some point it may be redefined as a job duty.
Right. And that's kind of what I'm thinking.
That's what.
So my question is that, if you're gonna give them $1,500, there's gonna be taxes taken out on it. I would rather see them add in the taxes on top of it so that what the stipend they get is actually $1,500.
We can call it a gym.
And I realize this is the health department, but I'm just gonna throw it out there, we have over 278 employees here. They all see that because I'm doing something else here, I want more money. Now you're gonna have an employee over here at highway department says, well, you want me to do this too? Well, I mean, it always pops up because you're actually changing a job description.
Yeah,
But
but
if you're changing the job description and it's gonna be permanent, then it needs to go through the salary committee.
So how much time do you need to assess if it's gonna be, again, right now, I suspect it's gonna be permanent, but I'm gonna say, give it 6 months of first.
I'm just saying, when you open that door, it's a slippery slope.
Right.
It starts, you could have within the health department, you could have your.
That's what I'm dealing with now,
your sanitation
right, that's what I'm
inspector
dealing with now,
saying,
so.
You want me to pull your medication trailer, your immunization trailer too? I want more money. I just say it opens the door, you gotta be prepared for
Yeah.
that. I understand what you're saying on
No, and I
the
understand
cane.
what you're saying too, but I mean, I think and that's what I'm asking for the time being. Again, I think that they just popped up and said that, and I find that commendable, for them to just automatically say that. And then we said, again, it would just be to start and see if it gets too much, we'll have to reassess.
And this is just, they're going, we're willing to step up to take over what the school liaison nursing. How about the other positions? Are somebody gonna do that, or are you still?
Which one was that?
Well, that was part-time, it was part-time, so they're the two taking on that as well.
I'm talking about.
The vector control?
The HFI coordinator?
Oh, the HFI coordinator?
Yes, we got
Have somebody in
knock
place.
on wood, yeah.
Okay, is that position been filled yet?
Mhm.
Okay. That's right, that was with.
So yeah, they're really taking on a job and a half, or a full and a part-time job, their responsibilities, yeah.
If you approve that, it would be with the, I mean, yes, council needs to approve this as well because it is part of salaries, so you can approve it pending their approval and you don't have to go to council as well. For stipends.
As far as what's the amount, is it the balance of this year, is that what you're looking at?
Mm-hmm.
How much is it? 15
Then
or?
I'm asking, I'd say, I said, I think maybe I think 1,000 to 15.
I just did a little math on what the tax would be, like if you,
Right,
assuming an average tax bracket, it would be 1680 if you were gonna do that.
But we have a lot of stipends out there, and
Yeah.
I really, I
Yeah.
really would hate to get into that.
Okay.
I really would, we have,
The others
we
have
have
just been, here's your
stipends.
stipend.
And then you're done, okay.
I'd be okay with it, with the intent then, by the first of the year, to see if this could be permanent
Right.
responsibilities, it's a job description with these
and then
two
do the
people.
job description, right,
You know, you
yeah,
get
right.
that in place, like Denny and these guys, then
But yeah, I agree, because I mean, this position, doing away with that, and then whatever, I can't remember what it was like up to 32 hours, wasn't it, the pay or something?
plus all the benefits.
Well,
Yeah,
then
plus
you
the
had
benefits,
those full-time benefits, but I
Right.
can't remember what the salary was,
I don't, and that was also an RN, it had to be like from the state and RN too, so that was a little more, yeah. I mean, they're doing us a solid, they really are.
50 probably, I think.
So I'm okay with it, whatever you guys think. I make a motion, we go ahead and approve the stipend of up to $1,500 for these two employees, pending council approval, with the idea that you'll look at this
Right.
permanent
Yep.
and coming up with a job description for this.
But you're talking about the 1,500 for the balance of this.
For the balance of this, I was gonna say effective up until this year, and then going forward, you do something like that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Then you gotta get on the council again.
Thanks, guys, thank you.
See ya.
They meet next Monday.
Yeah, we're on.
Okay.
Do we have anything else coming in?
No.
Okay, another 10-minute break, take a quick nap again.
I entertain a motion to adjourn the commission meeting.
Second?
So stated second, yeah.
Motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm just gonna say hi real quick and that's all. I'm Tim with Avon Consultants. We're working with Steve over at the GIS and working with Plan Director also. Whoops, there you go.